Good. Yeah, thank you for being here. First of all, yeah, in fact, I'm in Sweden right now. So I have some meeting now in Sweden, and it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you for that. Yes, I want to do a presentation of Reltime. First of all, small history about Reltime, what we have done, and in the end of the session, I also want to do a demonstration of our Web3 application that we have created, not only the application, but of course the total backend. So I can tell you shortly about us. We started the company in 2018. From 2019, we started creating a philosophy. How can we build a global blockchain and banking system to be able to enable, for example, me in Norway or in Sweden to send money and receive money, not only in Norway or in Europe, but also across border, for example, to Mexico. And in mind, we also have this kind of why should we build everything in a central way? How is it with the security when it comes to storage over digital assets? Is it possible to store your fiat in a distributed way instead of having the bank to control it? This was our philosophy on the core of Reltime. So in fact, we got some quite interesting thing that happened last week. Of course, back in time, we have this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, that's good. So we have some years ago, we have a banking crisis in Germany called Wirecard. Possible they know it. Possible they forgot it after what happened on the last week. First of all, a bank, when you store your digital asset, your fiat into a central system, is always controlled by a central unit. And first of all, it's not transparent when you store that in a bank. It's not possible for me as a user to see where is my money sent to, where is my money lent to. Is it used for other activity than my mission is to hold that asset in a safe place? So what we built in Reltime from 2019 was a self-custodian solution. So that means, in fact, instead of holding the asset in a central way, you can store that in your phone and also in your digital card, for example. And this was the fundamental of why we built it. And when it comes to the system, first of all, we build this kind of layer one blockchain. Instead of using a third-party blockchain and build our financial system on top of it, we build our own proof of authority layer one blockchain. So that means we have into that blockchain different type of node validator that is trusted, everything from traditional bank to telcos and other that are our node validators. We also build in something we call identity into the blockchain. So that means instead of sending money, for example, asking the receiver, what is your IBAN number, what is your SWIFT number, what is your account number, or what is your wallet address when you come to sending a digital asset, we build in a telephone number as the identity into the blockchain. So that was a fundamental important part for us. So that means, for example, me as a user, I can send money to anyone in the market, anyone globally, within 3 seconds. So this was like basic. Then what we did, we also found out that a lot of our clients and partners want to build their own currency. They want to build their own digital asset and store that in a safe way. And in that case, it was really important for us to build the core blockchain as a basic. Then, of course, when you have a core blockchain system, you also have it's really important to build different type of decentralized application and also smart contract to build that as a basic. Then on top of this kind of financial layer one blockchain that we build, we also build a banking as a service platform. I will go and demonstrate that after. And what we also found out that we are a small company in the Nordic. Even we have right now user in the Nordic, in Mexico, in the US, and also South Africa. We also find out that we are not able to bring our core brand to the market. So what we built was this kind of neobank enabler. So that means, for example, trusted brand, telcos, and other that want to build financial system to the existing partners, to the existing client, they can build on our system. So that was really important for us. And then we also find out that, of course, if you want to be a part of this kind of involvement into metaverse, for example, you need this kind of Web3 system, not only for having the gateway to metaverse, but also having a system where you can also hold, of course, your digital assets for yourself. So we build all of this. So our main focus in the start was that we build the core blockchain as a basic. So that means I have my identity built into the blockchain. In that case, we also build up a customer support portal. This means, for example, of a partner, telco, trusted brand, and also in fact also traditional bank. For example, the client we signed up last week is a traditional lending bank in US. They lend out fiat to other person in US. They can go into the application on the CSP. They can build their own look and feel. They can build their own US dollar token. They can also build that on a different type of language. They will have also in the CSP system access to something we call master access control panel. That means they can control, they can give access to person in their own organization to be accessing, for example, customer support, to accessing regulatory reporting, etc., etc. So that was really important. The same time on the framework, we also build up this application layer. The application layer it was a really important feature, not only one feature but a lot of features. So that means into the application layer you can also build peer-to-peer payment. You can launch that easily, not only in one central place, like for example Europe, but also global. Then we also build up this kind of lending facility. So that means you can send and you can lend out, and you can also borrow into the system your own digital asset. But of course, we also have financial partner that say, yes, we like your product, but we want, of course, that is only us that can lend out to our client. And of course, we can also build that as a basic for the system. Then we also find out that our blockchain have to support a possible way where you can also link more than one smart contract between user. So we build, in fact, also this kind of joint account platform. So that means several people in a group of people, they can, for example, create an account. They can use that for trading. It can be, for example, also a family account, and they can have saving in that account, and you can also choose who can deposit and withdraw from that platform. And we also have a lot of other decentralized system that we are in process with. Then what was really important for us is to work after the requirement and the regulation. Even the user have this kind of self-custodian service in the phone or also in a biometric card. It was really important for us to support the requirements. So we build everything that we do on this kind of bank as a service on top of our ecosystem is based on the requirements. So that means we do full KYC. We also do AML and PEPs and sanction check. So that means every person that we onboard have to do and have to follow the requirement in the country we onboard. Then we also have this kind of white label application. So in fact, in 3 weeks, it's a lot of this kind of neobank enabler into the market where you can go and discuss with them. We want to build our own financial system, but it takes time because it's centralized. And of course, if you are a centralized unit, it's much longer time to be and to offer a financial system than having that as a decentralized platform. And in fact, in 3 weeks, you can be that partner. We launched that service the 3rd of August this year, And just after it was a couple of weeks, we got 35 cases, everything from large telco that want to offer the financial system to their existing client. We got lending facility client in US. We got a trading company in Mexico as client. And it's a lot of demand. And of course, all of this kind of partner have different type of demand. So this is really important that everything is like customized. And of course, based on all of this, we also find out that everything have to be compliant. And of course, all the regulatory parties, for example, we are also connecting our platform to different type of custodian bank. For example, in Europe, we have a custodian bank, also the same in the US and also Mexico. And we are discussing also different type of custodian bank in the African market, based on, of course, this is a really important, we think that at least this is important service that we can offer. And we're also connecting our platform to a global, not a global, but a processor that is based in 37 countries. And with that, you are able also from the application side to activate virtual card and also, of course, do Apple and Google Pay. We also have some demand when it comes to QR code payment, and I will also do that presentation really short now in my mobile application. So 2 seconds. I will go directly into the live application in my mobile phone. I will open that. So this is like the top of the iceberg. This is like the application when it comes to a neobank. A neobank in this kind of sense is like everyone have different type of demand. We, as I mentioned, we have one that only do lending. In that case, they only want to have this kind of peer-to-peer payment and also lending. So we have this kind of flexibility. So that means a partner that only want to, for example, have one function, or a client that have an existing application, for example, a mobile application, and they want to build in a different type of function into that application. Of course, they can also take our API and connect our service directly into that application. We also have a partner that want to have everything. I mean, every service that we are creating, everything from, I will take it step by step, but this is the white labeling application. So that means this white labeling application can be totally different for any kind of partners. It could be, for example, a partner that want to only have digital fiat. So that means, for example, into our application, they can move money from one fiat account, for example, Norwegian kroner to euro. You can do this kind of FX trading directly into the application. So that means, of course, when you do that into our layer one blockchain, you don't need to pay any FX fee on that kind of thing. And this is important. But I will take it step by step. I don't have too much time, but I will take it step by step. So when I come to regulation, of course, what I say is that every person that is onboarding to the system have to do a KYC. We have something we call simplified due diligence. Some part of the market say that, yes, if you do transaction, for example, below $150 in a total, you don't need to do a full KYC, but you have to do a simplified due diligence. In that case, you do a full DOB information. That means your birth date, your name, you're connecting that name to AML and sanction checks. So we are checking that, of course, and we're also checking up with the telephone number. When you reach this $150, for example, you have to do a full KYC. In that case, of course, this is an automatic system, so that person will then have a notification from Reltime. You have to do a KYC before you can do more function into the system. So this is like really important for us. In the same time, of course, we want to have interaction into the applications. That means on top right, the bell, you can see all this kind of function that you have done into the application. If I have done, for example, collateral into my lending, if I transfer money, etc. If something happened from Reltime side, for example, update of the application, because every month or every week we have different type of updates, so we can also notify the user. Our partner can notify the user directly, and that's important. The important is also this kind of earnings model. we are just a technology partner in this case. We are enabling the application, the backend system. So that means the front end and the backend system. We are enabling our partner to connect, we call it plugins to virtual card, for example, MasterCard, and plugin for Apple and Google Pay. So that means if me as a user send money to my relatives, for example, in Mexico, they can, after 3 seconds, they will have the money. And then they can activate Apple and Google Pay and start paying directly. So this is like the global approach we have. We have our earning model for not only us, but of course also for our partner that joined the system. Everything from, for example, lending. I can lend out my digital assets so into the system. Our partner can say, yes, I want to be able to I want to be the only one that lend out to my borrower or my customer. So you can set that as a requirement. But some other partners say, yes, I want also my end user to be able to lend out my asset to other person. In that case, every user, we have built this kind of lending ecosystem. So that means a marketplace for that. So that means into the application, for example, Praveen on top here, he have provide a loan offering into the market. Me as a user, I can borrow that money directly. Of course, in that case, as you see here, is also with collateral. So that means if I borrow, I need also some kind of collateral. This kind of collateral is also up to our partner. For example, collateral can be, for example, digital assets. It can be other kind of collateral, but this is like up to our partner. When it comes to this lending facility, so this is how it works. So me as a user, I can lend out directly to the marketplace. For example, I want to lend out €2. I want to set in interest rate to be 10. I want to lend out, for example, this over 12 months. I can choose with and without collateral. I push collateral. I read the terms and conditions and push submit. I use biometric. In this case, I will publish a loan offering to the marketplace. Anyone in the ecosystem, if that's approval from our partner, can go in and borrow that money directly from me. As you see here, I just published now a loan for, this is just example, but €2. And I can change it, I can modify it, I can do it before it's taken by a borrower. When the borrower accepts this, it will be a smart contract between me as a lender and the borrower directly. Then we also have the same facility for end users. So that means me as a user, I can, for example, go in and find my contact in my contact list. I can say, yes, I want to lend out €3. This is my friend. I want to just have 1% interest over 9 months. And I can choose this without any collateral and submit. In this case, it will be also the same here. The system will notify Alex in this case. Frode have send you an offer to borrow directly from him. And he can approve it or decline it. If you approve it, it will be also the smart contract between me and him. So this is like the lending part of it. What we also have created that is really important is also this kind of deposit functionality. For example, in the Nordic right now, in north of Europe, we have this kind of bank integration. Is like a bank aggregator that we are connecting to. So that means into the deposit functionality, I will also have my existing bank connected to the wallet. So that means I can within 15 seconds, I can deposit money from my existing bank directly to the Reltime ecosystem. And of course, when I have this deposit into my account, I can send that to anyone globally based on a digital asset, and the person that receive it can pay, etc. So that's really important that we have this kind of easiness to deposit. Of course, it's a lot of partners that we have, typical traditional bank that say, yes, of course, we already have this kind of, we are a bank, we have the asset, and from my bank, of course, I want to use the Reltime ecosystem to build more easiness and more trusted system when it comes to lending. For example, based on this kind of smart contract is an easy way to follow. And of course, it's not possible to manipulate any transaction into the blockchain. And this is like really important. And of course, as a bank, it's also important that it's easy to move money to another person based on the identity that we are building, and that's important. At the same time, we are also building this kind of bridging facility. Of course, you've seen the last week discussion on crypto. It's a decentralized exchange that go bankrupt. They didn't tell about what they've done with the money for the user, and in that case, of course, they trade and they use money for purchase different type of token. And of course, it's really important that when you think about decentralized exchange compared to a centralized exchange, it's two different worlds. That mean, of course, when it comes to transparency, a decentralized exchange is the only thing that you should use when you do a transaction. But the good thing with the system that we have created is that you can, of course, bridge, for example, from Ethereum network to the Reltime ecosystem network. So that means when you have done this bridging to the ecosystem, it's on the Reltime ecosystem. The asset in that case, it's stored by the end user, not by Reltime, and this is really important. It's never stored by Reltime as an ecosystem or blockchain system. We are a Web3 platform, so that means it's always stored by the end user. The same time, when you have bridged the token or the fiat, digital fiat, you can also swap it. So that means, for example, I have my Norwegian kroner, I want to swap that to US dollar. You can do that directly into the ecosystem directly. For example, you can choose, for example, this is just an example with Ethereum, but this is up. I have €1. I want to swap that to, for example, the RTO, who's the stable coin in Reltime. You can swap it directly. And in that case, it's always a free charge system. So that means everything that happened into the Reltime ecosystem is always a free charge system. That's nothing we charge anything for, and that's really important. At the same time, we have got a lot of feedback when it comes to checkout possibilities. We have of course the integration right now in process with the virtual card and Apple and Google Pay with MasterCard, but at the same time we also got this kind of why not make this kind of system for the unbanking and the emerging markets? And in that case, we have this kind of QR code built into the system. So that means below you can see the QR code. I push that. In this case, of course, every user that are on the platform, even if you are a merchant or an end user, they will have their identity. This is my telephone number connected to my wallet, connected to the QR code. So of course, if me as a user or a merchant, for example, have the Reltime ecosystem as a basic, me as end user, I can scan that with the scanning mode, and the payment happen instant. The settlement also happen instant between me as end user and the merchant directly. So this is like really important. And of course, based on this functionality, it's always a gas-free system. So that means we don't charge anything for that. So this is like really important function for us. As I also mentioned, we also have this kind of self-custodian system. So that means into the Reltime application and the system, you can hold, you will be able to hold your digital asset yourself, both the fiat, digital fiat, but also the digital asset, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So that means into the self-custodian system, you can of course use MetaMask and connect that to Reltime, but we also have built this kind of system to be able to, for the user to hold that asset themselves. So that means with the three function, I mean the identity, telephone number that is unique for the user, the mail address, and this kind of recovery key. With that thing, you can always recover your digital asset, even also fiat, with these kind of three things. So that means you can, for example, change your phone and you can recover that, or if you lose your phone, you can also recover that. We also have a trusted partner that we possible we link this kind of recovery key to if the client want. In that case, it's always of course more easy to recover that wallet, both the currency that is based on the platform of Reltime, but of course also currency that is stored, for example, in other type of blockchain, for example, Ethereum, etc. So this is like us. We have got a lot of traction. Even we are a newcomer. We have been really quiet about the development. We were lucky to have an angel investor that invest in our ideas in the start in 2018. They say to us, be quiet on the system, because I think at least they say that this is quite unique. And just in February this year, we launched the blockchain. We move identity in principle within 3 seconds. And after in August, we launched this kind of ecosystem that I'm showing right now. That is not only for us, but of course for our partner that want to be neobank and to use this as a neobank enabler for example, the telco and other that have the user base. So yeah, this is it. So thank you for that time. I could possibly talk 1 more hour or something and go more deep into the technology, but I'm really happy to discuss anytime. We also have a partner in South Africa. So anytime if someone want to take a look and us to present the system, we can do that. We have this kind of hybrid system. We have also a lot of neobank or partners that want to build only fiat part instead of only or a hybrid between crypto and fiat. But this is up to the partners. So yeah, thank you for that. Any question?
Thank you very much. I want to check if our audience have got any questions. Do we have any questions from the floor? Let's give him a round of applause for that great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the floor? All right. We do not have any hands up. It means it was exceptional. And we want to congratulate you on having that first Web3 financial system. I think that's fantastic. And it's something that I believe, because the session we had before was on Web3. And I think so by showing us how it's literally done, this was actually just a fantastic way to transition. So thank you very much. And again, we want to give you a round of applause for an exceptional job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So have a nice day in Cape Town. I'm happy anytime to come down there, but right now I'm busy. But next time I'm happy to come and present to anyone that want to go into more, to become a neobank or to provide financial system anytime. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.